insurance company write-offs, salvage titles, and this particular car is purported to be a flood-damaged vehicle that is stationary, meaning it does not run and drive at this time. And that's all they tell you pretty much. All the pictures look great. The thing looks like it's been garaged its whole life. After doing a little bit of research, it was owned by one person, an elderly lady. She bought it new in 2001 and has owned it the whole time. Yeah, the car has a great history, no wrecks or anything that I could find, and I think that they just got probably went in last year El Paso had some really bad rain and a lot of flooding in the streets. Excuse me. So I think that this vehicle may have tried to go into a deeper area than it should have, and maybe stalled out, and I don't know if there's going to be water in the engine or what, but I figure it's a small investment to try this experiment, and in the end we need a vehicle in El Paso. We live at Canyon Lake, but we have another home in El Paso that we visit frequently, and I'd like to start flying instead of driving. We put a lot of miles on our new truck going back and forth to work on this house. So it'd be a perfect car for that, just to leave there in the garage, assuming it runs. And if it doesn't, then I'm fairly confident I can get, maybe a little more than what I paid in parts. And so that's the plan. Hopefully it's something, fairly simple, easy to fix. I doubt it. I really don't think that's going to be the case. Just, I figure it's better not to get my hopes up. And yeah, so hopefully it's nothing beyond my experience, and I've never messed with a flood damaged vehicle. I have no idea what to expect, but the pictures don't show any flood lines. There's no indication at all, other than the engine being a little dirty, and I saw a little bit of rust on some of the air conditioner parts that you don't commonly see on these cars at this age. But whether it's from the flood or something else, who knows. So I'll be there in about 15 minutes to pick this car up and have it trailered to the house, and then we'll get started and see what we come up with. Alright, after a little bit of a map snafu taking me to the wrong location, a big empty field, I kept driving down this Marina Avenue, and I believe this is going to be the spot. I mean, there's a ton of cars back there. I'd say there's easily over 1,000 vehicles at this facility, all over the place. Yeah, this is it. So this company, IAA Insurance Auto Auctions, I don't know if it's a competitor to SCA Auctions. I found out after I bought the car that they have their own listings that are identical to SCA. They require no deposit, whereas SCA requires a $400 refundable deposit, which, you can ask for it back after you find the car you want. I think the other difference was this place had a yearly subscription fee just under $100. And otherwise, I don't really know what the differences are yet. I see a Progressive vehicle there. That's the insurance company that totaled out the Grand Marquis we're picking up. So we're here, and we'll see how it goes. As you can see, once you've gone inside and given them your buyer number and gotten a team number, which I guess is what you use the next time you come in if you ever buy something from them again, they'll go retrieve your car and bring it right out to you. They'll set it down somewhere out here, and you can have your tow truck come and deliver it out. I have AAA towing insurance. They pulled it back to the house for me. So the car is here. after looking it over, I noticed that someone has already removed the plugs and every one of the coil packs. They took the time to label some of this stuff and then tape off the ends of the hoses and the air cleaner box. So I mean, that's a good sign that they took the time to cover all that up, but I'm not sure why they stopped there and just plugged it all up. Everything is in the trunk. So they've got all the plugs, wires, all that stuff is in the trunk, plus the new stuff that I've bought. I've already got new coil packs, new plugs. So everything's there. The body's exactly as the pictures described. It's just very dirty. Interior, very clean. To see if water got up into the dash, I opened up the glove box, checked all the owner's manual and stuff, because you figure that would be really damaged. The pages would be messed up if water got up that high. So that's a good sign that all that's dry. Carpet, everything looks good. Nothing's rusty under the seats. On the sides right here, it kind of looks like water was up in here. There's little bits of sand and stuff, but maybe they just didn't clean it very well or very often. I don't see any distinctive lines at all. I mean, even the windshield on this thing's in perfect condition. No cracks, chips. It looks like they left a little phone charger plugged in. So what I'm going to do is hook up the new battery and check all the electronics, see if all the seats, windows, all that stuff work, and go from there. All right, day 2 with the Grand Marquis, and I have a little bit more time to mess with it today. It does look like the motor is seized up. Trying to turn it over manually with the breaker bar. It barely budges in either direction. I mean, it's not even a quarter of an inch, if that. And I'm gonna check the starter, make sure that's not engaged to the flywheel, and because I don't hear any noises from the starter when trying to bump it over with the key. I did hear a little bit of clicking coming from the starter relay. I've gone ahead and added transmission fluid to each cylinder hole, and we'll let that soak in. Yeah, that's about it for now. All the electronics check out. Everything works fine. It's really dirty, but I think it'll clean up. Tires are even in good shape. Oil was recently changed prior to the flood. They still had 2 months left on that oil change, so that's a good sign. Somebody was taking care of it. But yeah, so far no conclusive evidence of how high the water got in this vehicle, but we shall see. Yep. So unfortunately, at the point that the motor was determined to be locked up permanently, after starting it, not starting it, but after bumping it with the starter a few times and shooting out all that fluid out of the cylinders, we decided to have it towed to a local shop. They looked at the motor and immediately sent me a picture, and there was a hole in the block. So it's something I didn't notice. We didn't really have a chance to inspect the car prior to the auction. It was an online auction, and I literally won it a day after I found it, and it fit all the criteria for something that I wanted to try. And I've owned a 2001 Grand Marquis in the past and loved the car. It had almost 300,000 miles on it before it died, and it was just an awesome car as far as getting around and family stuff. So the car went to the shop, and they said, "Well, you're going to need a new motor or a new block." It turns out the motors they just weren't there. Salvage yards, they had a few that were overpriced and had too many miles on them. So we made the decision to go ahead and rebuild this motor. So they put a new block in it and rebuilt the motor. I guess that would have been late January when I dropped the car off up there at the shop, maybe February. And they also recommended going ahead and rebuilding the transmission since it was already out, just in case it had issues as well, that we could go ahead and knock it all out and not have to worry about it. So I opted to do that, and the car as of today is August the 7th, and I just got notified yesterday that the vehicle is ready to be picked up. So I'm waiting on word back from them to tell me whether they've inspected the air conditioner. They had told me that the check engine light was on after they got it running and determined that it was the O2 sensors. I told them go ahead and replace all 4 of those. I also asked them to check out the AC, make sure that was good. It's El Paso. The temperatures are well over 100 pretty much every day over there, and an air conditioner is essential. So I'm just waiting on word back from them, probably Monday, and hopefully we can go pick this car up sometime this month and see what we can do from there. But they said it was running great, so we'll see. I'll give you a breakdown of the cost later in the video and what I've spent total. And you can make your own, determination whether you think it's worth it to buy an auction vehicle, and especially one with flood damage. This has a salvage title, so in addition to normal title, registration, all that, I have to take a certificate to the shop and get them to fill it out, showing what they did, how they rebuilt it, all that stuff. Then take that, to the DMV and get it inspected, pay for all that before I can get plates, and then it'll have a rebuilt title instead of a salvage title. So for what I wanted to use it for, like I said in the beginning of the video, this will be a vehicle that stays in El Paso. I have no intention of, putting it on the highway and bringing it back to Canyon Lake. For that purpose, getting us around, from point A to point B over there comfortably, I think it'll be an awesome vehicle, and I'm still happy with it. I wish it had worked out better, and we could have gotten it running ourselves, but it just didn't happen. So we'll try to get on some other cars and see if our luck is any better. But obviously, not being able to inspect it in person makes a huge difference. In this case, I still probably would have bought it. I don't think I would have noticed the hole in the block. And yeah, so let's see what happens.